I'm Riley from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be comparing the Incase Icon backpack with the Incase Icon Lite Triple Black backpack. They do have some similarities, but they do also have some stark differences, which we'll go over. So you can head on over to packhacker.com for the full written reviews for both of these bags, link in the description below, and let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, so on the left here we have the Icon backpack, the standard original Icon backpack, and then on the right here we have the Icon Lite Triple Black. So I'm going to refer to this one as the Icon and this one as the Triple Black, just so that way we don't get them confused. But over here we're going to kind of turn it over just to give you an idea of the sizing. This Icon backpack is far bulkier than the Triple Black, as you can see. It's fairly wider here, which carries more in here, less in here. I've been able to use the Icon backpack for, like a overnight or a weekend trip during testing, but with the Triple Black, it's much more difficult, especially if I have other kind of gear I need to fit in, like tech gear, which we'll go into detail about, like the storage and main compartment organization, etc. shortly. But just to talk about the front of these bags first. Material-wise, they are both made with an 840D ballistic nylon, so it feels nice and rugged in hand. They both held up decently well. Aesthetically speaking, the Icon backpack has sustained a bit more damage. So you can see it's got a bit more debris and scuffing, especially on the bottom here, than the Triple Black. And I'll pull this one up so you can see the material. Just a little bit on the bottom there, which the Triple Black does have a coating here, which adds more water resistance, which you don't have on here. And just in general, the zippers as well are water resistant. So definitely getting more protection from any moisture with the Triple Black than you are with the Icon. So that's something to keep in mind. And then kind of going to like branding, there is an Incase logo on here that's white, so it's like white on black, stands out a little bit more, but hence the name Triple Black. On the Triple Black here we have the same logo but in black, so it blends in a little bit more. It's almost difficult to see here compared to this one. And then just branding wise too, same thing for like the zipper pulls on this bag. Some of them are black, some of them are white. So you can see these are like the black ones, and then down here white, so they stand out a little bit more. And then you kind of have like the same or similar mix here on this bag. So these zipper pulls have white on here, and then this one also black. So a little bit of white branding on here. It hasn't stuck out altogether though. The logos on here have been fairly more subtle than this. So that's something to keep in mind if that's something you like, if you don't really want your bag standing out. Then kind of going back to their sizes here, just to give you a comparison again. As you can see, like I said before, much bulkier on this side. Neither of them have any handles or like a pocket on this side, but there is a pocket on the Icon backpack. So just to give you an idea, this pocket here has this bright green liner, which you don't have anywhere on this pack. So it offers a lot more visibility. And then there's also a media port that you can use. So if you have like a power bank in here, or even your headphones, you can slip them out. We didn't get like a ton of use out of it in testing just because we're typically using wireless, but you don't have that option on this bag, which again is something to keep in mind. Like if that's a functionality that you would prefer, that's something that you'll use in your everyday. But yeah, it's definitely bulks up this side a little bit more. As far as like their structure, they do both stand up on their own pretty well, as you can see. So, excuse me. They do both stand up on their own, which is great. So they're both convenient for when you're, working and you have it next to you and you're reaching in and out of the bag. You don't have to constantly zip and unzip the compartments. You can just leave it open, get in and out, which is great. Always helpful and convenient to have that functionality. Yeah, and then we'll flip it back over here on the back side, talk a little bit about this harness system. So as you can probably see from the comparison of the Icon and the triple black, on here you don't have the same kind of mesh lining that you do here on the triple black. The foam itself too is a bit more rigid, a bit more stiff, whereas on the triple black it's a bit more cushy. So it's not necessarily more comfortable than the Icon, it's just kind of like a different carry. They both have the air channels here which help with ventilation, but again, no mesh lighting on this back panel, is going to be, a little bit harder to combat sweat than it is with the triple black. Again, something to keep in mind, especially when you're wearing this for a long time or if you're out in warmer weather. But both sets of shoulder straps do have that mesh lining there. It's a little bit thicker, the padding on these shoulder straps, than it is on here, but altogether the construction for this one we would say is still well suited for the bag size. When you're carrying something this heavy, it's great to have that structure, but if you're just carrying like a light load every day, then this amount of padding has also been great. So overall, we've enjoyed the harness systems for both. Again, this is a little bit bulkier too, so we noted this in the review, but it does feel like it's pulling away from the back in certain spots. So again, something to be aware of. But sternum strap is pretty much the same. They're both elasticated, as you can see. They both attach with this rail system, so fairly easy to adjust. Neither of them have strap keepers, so you're gonna kind of deal with dangle a little bit, but they're also both made out of that smooth seatbelt-like material, which is just super soft in hand. As for the shoulder straps, these do have elastic keepers on both, as you can see. Same adjusters as well. So those are pretty similar. No dangle there, which is nice. As far as the attachment of the shoulder straps though, on the Icon, the straps are anchored to the actual flap of this bag, because this pocket kind of gives the bag a wing to it. So it's attached there, but on the triple black, it is anchored directly to the bag. So again, just kind of a little detail. So yeah, overall, we've found them both to be pretty comfortable to carry, just kind of depending on, what you're carrying. Obviously, you'll be carrying a little bit more in here. You can carry more in here than you can in here, but there are also load lifters on the top of the Icon backpack, which we didn't really feel necessary for a bag of this size. It's definitely bigger than this one, but not so big that we felt these were necessary, so you don't see those on here. So you don't have that functionality, but like I said, if it's not necessary on here, it's definitely not gonna be necessary on a smaller bag like this. But yeah, so we'll flip this back over and talk about this front pocket here, because they both have a similar front pocket. They both stretch about the same height, as you can see. The bags themselves are a pretty similar height as well. It's more just kind of like about their depth and their width, but something to note about these pockets. So there are fabric welts kind of over the zipper to protect it, and you'll notice that on the triple black as well. That said, we have found that the Icon backpack is much easier to unzip than the triple black. It's much stiffer on this pack. As you can see, it's kind of giving me a little bit more resistance than it is on the Icon, so that's something to keep in mind, especially if you're someone who, is quickly trying to grab something out. If you prefer that kind of quick and easy access, this is going to slow you down a bit. But as far as the organization in the pockets, so I'll open both of these up so you can see. They both open up about the same. There's no organization in the triple black's pocket, if you can see here, but there is a fair amount in the Icon backpack, especially for a pocket like this, because it's not always you see organization in front pockets, but you have just some liner pockets and sleeves here that you can use to compartmentalize your gear, and then there's a bit more room in this one to pack out than there is in this one, so it's a bit more functional, this pocket, than this one, especially if you're trying to segment quick grab items. But you do also on each pack have a quick grab pocket at the top as well, which I'll show you here on the triple black first. So we open it up. It's a bit smaller. It's a bit more difficult to fit your hand in than it is this one on the Icon, because this pocket is larger, the opening is larger. But they both have that very soft faux fur lining to them, which is great. It's, like I said, super soft in hand, protects specific gear from like scratches, whether you're putting your phone or a pair of glasses in here. They do both hang into the main compartments of the bag, so they take up a little bit of room, but it hasn't been like a huge issue. We haven't felt that it was really limiting our capacity or anything. But and then kind of going over like the actual main compartment, we'll open that up so you can see on the Icon here and the triple black. So just for reference, if we kind of pull these both open, there's a fair amount more of organization in the Icon backpack, which is right here, than the triple black, which is right here. So as you can see, you have a zippered pocket at the top, which is great for keeping specific gear secure if you don't want it free floating in here, or you're not comfortable keeping it in a pocket like this that doesn't have any closure. There's also a sleeve here that you can put a laptop into. That said, there is a dedicated compartment for your laptop on the Icon, which we'll talk about next. And then there's also a sleeve here in the front that you can fit a tablet, or if you're not using your laptop in here, then you can put like documents and folders, flatter things in here as well. So the back panel here on, or the back wall here on the triple black is basically just that padded laptop sleeve. So you can put your laptop in here. You can fit a 16-inch in the Icon backpack and then a 15 in the triple black. Again, something to note, just based on what size tech you're carrying. It does have a very soft lining, similar to what you've seen in the quick grab pocket that we talked about earlier. And the sleeve itself does have padding, so it's fairly protective for your gear. We haven't felt a need to use a protective sleeve, but if you'd like to, you're more than welcome to, just in case. And then kind of going to the front wall here, there's not anything in the way of organization on the Icon, but there are two liner pockets on the triple black here. So this is really the only kind of segmentation you're getting other than the laptop sleeve in the triple black for like cables or, you know, personal care items, etc. So it's really all you've got. Otherwise, you kind of have to supplement with packing cubes and pouches, which we didn't really feel a need to do here. Of course, your mileage may vary, but it was almost necessary for here if we were carrying like tech gear and things that I mentioned before. So go ahead and fold these back here, and then we're going to talk about the other compartments on the Icon backpack. So zipping this up. The laptop compartment back here, the dedicated laptop compartment, has kind of like a side access to it. And then same thing, that same soft liner that you saw in the laptop sleeve in the triple black. But it's an entire dedicated compartment, so you don't have to keep, you know, if you, for example, there's no water bottle pockets on here. So if you're going to keep a water bottle in your main compartment, it doesn't have to be next to your tech because you can keep it back here. So it's just nice to have that possibility of keeping our tech separate and safe from scratches too, because this lining material is super soft. So we'll zip that back up, and then you don't have this on the triple black either, but the Icon backpack does have a front compartment because it's got 3 different compartments, so far more segmentation and organization you're getting with this one than you are with this one, which could be a deal breaker for you depending on what kind of gear you're carrying every day. So we'll open up this compartment here. Same thing, you kind of just have the main compartment, so immediately you can see that there's, you know, several sleeves here against the back wall. So you put pens, cables, a mouse, other tech accessories, SD cards. There's even a pouch here that works well for larger cables. We did try keeping our laptop charger, like a MacBook charger and adapter in here, and it worked well. And then we also have a metal key clip, which you don't have a dedicated spot for your keys on this one, so it's just nice to have this on this bag. And then you also have 2 more pockets down here that secure with some Velcro, so not every pocket in here doesn't have any closure. So it's great to put stuff that you want to keep especially secure in here so it's not free floating around and like scratching up your other gear if it's pointy, etc. So this has worked really well for our tech accessories like I touched on before. We really didn't feel the need for like a separate tech pouch with this one, but it is almost necessary for this one if you're going to be carrying an excess of, you know, more than a few chargers, like 1 or 2, your phone charger and computer charger, just because anything after that, you don't really have a spot for it because there's only 2 liner pockets in this main compartment unless you're putting it in this front pocket, but then that kind of limits your quick grab capabilities, so something to keep in mind there. And then we'll zip this back up too. And then just to touch on at the top here as well, zip this back up. You have 2 handles here on the top as well. This one is thicker here, this one is a bit more structured, so this is kind of nice to grab, as well as this one. The opening here is smaller, so you don't have quite as much room to reach in and grab as you do with this one, and then same thing, this one is more padded, but they've both been really convenient, like for grabbing the bag when we need to move it or get something out, so they're relatively the same there. So yeah, we'll just set this back up here. And then just to touch on too, these zipper pulls are different lengths, which makes sense because this is a smaller bag, but you know, kind of like ease of grabbing and pulling open is increased on this one with their size than it is on this one, which is, again, you know, if you're all about quick access, easy access, that might be a nice added bonus for the Icon over the triple black. So yeah, altogether you're getting a lot more organization, segmentation space with the Icon backpack than you are with the triple black, but they've both worked well for their use cases. We've enjoyed testing both of them. All right, so there you have it, the Incase Icon backpack and the Incase Icon Lite triple black backpack. We do have reviews for both of these. We'll link them down in the description below, and you can head on over to packhacker.com for more information as well as the best buying options that help support the channel at no additional cost to you. We'll also link down below, and we'll see you in the next video.